Now to post-election issues, and we are joined by political analyst Wassim Younis from the Al-Qasimi College. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon, Laura.
The Joint Arab List got 13 seats in the Knesset election. In their meeting with President Reuven Rivlin, they made no recommendation. Why is that?
Well, I don't know, but when we talk about 300 seats, it's not that clear, First of all, Arabs in the previous elections, they got some almost 12 seats. Or 11 seats, and now they have 13 seats in the Knesset, and they simply embezzled. They took 2 seats from merits. I don't know whether it is indeed considered to a large extent be a triumph, a victory, or not, but for sure there are no parties to celebrate this doubtful, and everybody says that, well, these are not the ends, the results that the Arab sector wanted to witness in the street. And therefore, as for the recommendation, they said no, they might only provide a political security network to Bougie Herzog, but in this case, of course, after they, indeed, in my eyes, they functioned as a kingmaker because of the fact that, everybody said that the Arab unity, indeed,
they would have functioned as a kingmaker had Bougie taken control.
I think that they functioned as a kingmaker because of the fact that they brought Bibi, definitely, to power in terms of, because of the fact that they united, and therefore there was an action and a counter-action, and therefore it was, in my eyes, it was very, very expected that the results will end in that, when Bibi came to power, and therefore it was very, very clear. But I don't know whether to say fortunate, yes.
You're saying that Netanyahu was elected due to the Arab parties uniting?
Among other things, I think that the unity of Arabs, indeed, definitely caused a counter-argument in the Jewish street, especially in the right wing, and therefore Bibi came to power because of the fact that, this unity simply caused another unity among the voters of Benjamin Netanyahu.
Was the high voter turnout due to the fact that it was a united Arab list rather than 2 or 3 separate parties?
Listen, first of all, in terms of high, yes, indeed, definitely.
Over 70%?
No, I think it's less. It's something like 67%.
Okay, close to 70%.
It was to a large extent high, indeed. But, once you have 13 seats in the Knesset and still you are functioning in the opposition and you cannot, you don't have the power, indeed, to provide the goods. And, there's a very important point. In the eyes of the beholder, if you are an Arab beholder and you look at this joint list, it's not an Arab list, it is an Arab-Jewish list. And to a large extent, it is believed that they simply abandoned the Palestinian national discourse to the benefit of the civic discourse. And the results were not that great. This indeed might make us all skeptical about the success of this slate, especially in the future. And I'm afraid that in the future, because of the dictation of Lieberman, that this is the first time since the establishment of State of Israel, we don't have, between quotation marks, a pure Arab slate to the Knesset. It is an Arab-Jewish slate, and the unity also has its own price because it did not do positive things for Arabs.
Can you see the United Arab List staying together, or will it split apart once again?
I don't know. To be honest with you, of course, there are different perspectives within the same list. There are people who are in favor of the homosexual community, and there are people who are atheists, yes, believe it or not. Today, we are talking about the Arab community. The vast majority of Arabs in Israel, whether they are Christians or Muslims, are believers. And today, we have the head of this list who says that I am an atheist. And therefore, I think that there might be very important questions to be addressed in the future. And I'm afraid that indeed this unity will come to its end very soon before Arabs actually reach their destination and aspirations.
Wassim Younis from the Al-Qasimi College, thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Our politicians show more humility.